Hi dear friends, I'm here today to discuss the ups and downs of the life of Ratan Tata on the wake of his demise. So he sadly passed away, and my condolences. So this is something that I have done a bit of research into it, and then I have prepared my notes as well. So I am giving this for your knowledge about the life history of Ratan Tata and his business. Ratan born in Mumbai, and his childhood, although he was born in a affluent family because his father was the owner of Tata companies at the moment, still his life, his childhood was so painful because his parents separated when he was 10 years of age. And then he was brought up by his granny. He was undergone a lot of intimidation from the schools by his colleagues, classmates, as a result of his family situation. However, the interesting thing is he didn't respond to it back in the same language or with the same attitude. Now, his ambition from childhood was to become an architect, and his father was against it. However, his granny supported him, and then he got a chance to study in US, and he became an architect in 1959 from US. And then he started working in US as an architect. Then he was going through all these family issues and problems, so it was so depressing life. Now the interesting thing is he found a girlfriend from US. He lived in Los Angeles, and he was starting by getting a job and then meeting a partner, and then he was starting to be happy in life. Now here you go, he has other issue coming. His granny fell ill at that time. She was back in India at home, so he had to flew back home to look after his granny. And he loved his granny so much because she brought him in his childhood, and she supported him for all his dreams. So he decided to stay back in India for a few years instead of going back to US. Now he decided to bring his girlfriend here to India. The other challenge came. The challenge was from the parents of his girlfriend. They were not in support of she coming to India and staying in India. Basically because that was the time of India-China war. And it was an issue of threat as well, because the war is going on. And this has decided them to stop her from flying to India. And then they decided to do her, they decided to find another partner for her, and her wedding was done. Now, this was another tragic incident in his life because he lost his beloved fiancée. Now, he was not prepared to surrender anyway. He, in 1961, he started to work in one of the Tata steels in Jamshedpur as an employee, it was his family company. Still, he started working as a normal employee there. Then gradually, when time's gone, he promoted to different sections. And at that time, Tata company was booming. As a business, it was growing. And it became number one in India. And then it was growing economically. And then ultimately, he became the chairman. He reached that position. Now in 1991, economic liberalization came in India. That means the government decision to attract FDI, foreign investments. Now, this was a great challenge for Tata as a company because they now has to compete with international companies, foreign companies. Tata's business was going down. They were struggling to keep up with the pace. They were struggling to keep up with the market challenge from the foreign companies. Now, Ratan decided to develop new ideas how to withstand that situation. Now here we have, as we all, common man has a great lesson to learn. Because when he was struggling to compete with foreign companies, he didn't decide to bring that companies down. He didn't take it as a jealous because the other companies was doing well and his company was going down. Instead of trying to cause harm to that companies, he decided to elevate his company to international level so that he can compete with international companies. So this is a great lesson for us to learn from his life. So instead of, if we have any challenge, if we have any kind of challenges appearing from a person or in career or in our promotion, never ever try to degrade others. Doesn't matter it's a person or a company. Instead, try to grow and reach that stage instead of trying to bring them down to your stage or below your stage. So this is a great lesson from Ratan Tata's life. Now, what happened? So business was heading down, and then he was unable to compete with international companies, and he decided to raise his company to the international level. How beautiful that idea is. How beautiful that vision is. This is what we have to learn. Now, what happened? He started business discussions with international companies, with foreign companies. He started buying foreign companies. He started acquiring foreign companies. He started merging foreign companies with Tata. And this is how he started building his business from a low level to a high level. Now, a new idea flourished in his mind, and that was to develop a pure indigenous car in India. Until that time, all the cars was made with foreign parts, with foreign technology, and sometimes in foreign countries. Now he decided to build car, purely indigenous car in India. He started discussing this with his idea, his thoughts, with his friends, with his relatives, and with others. Now guess what? As usual, no one supported. Everyone started objecting it, rejecting the idea. And they said that now it's not going to win. You can't compete with foreign companies. You can't develop an indigenous car. Now, he didn't listen to any of those comments or objections. He decided to go forward with his vision. Guess what? Ultimately, he reached that point. He developed an indigenous car in India, purely indigenous. Everything developed in India, and that is Tata Indica. Now another hit to his vision. That was a flop. It didn't success in the market. Tata Indica started losing money, couldn't sell, couldn't make profit. It was a total disaster, unfortunately. Loss of money. Now, no option. No other option other than selling his car division. Look how painful it will be for him, because he fought for it. He, gone ahead with his vision, reached that stage. He done his project. He developed that indigenous car. Still, he failed. He couldn't market it. He couldn't find the market. He couldn't make a profit with that. Unfortunately, he reached a stage that he couldn't go forward anymore with his car division. And then he had to sell it. And he decided to sell it. Now, he flew to US for that, for a discussion with Ford, Bill Ford, for a negotiation for selling his car division. Now, the meeting went very well. Bill Ford accepted his request and then decided to buy his car division. But at the end of the meeting, Bill Ford just said a word to him, a sentence, probably a quote. He said that if you didn't know about car, why you decided to start a car division and reach this stage, this disastrous stage? You shouldn't have done it. This was Bill Ford's comment at the end of the meeting when he was about to leave. And this has struck him so badly, so painfully. It gone into his heart, because that was such a unacceptable command in his vision. He decided not to sell that car division at that point, and he said that now I'm not selling it. Let me see what is on my way. Flew back from US to India. Now he has the challenge to develop this car company again, which is not easy. We all know that, and he knew that, but he was committed because he never wanted to be insulted by someone in that way. Because that comment was a massive blow to his personality, to his company, to his ideas, and he never wanted that. That was the last thing he wanted. He never surrendered. Now, he then decided to renew this Indica model with new ideas. And that's how within 3 years, he managed to develop Indica V2. Fortunately, it was successful. He achieved his goal. He achieved his dream of a pure indigenous successful car for India. And that was Indica V2, which got very, very successful, extremely successful. And then economic crisis came. US economy shattered, started to break down. Now what happened? Ford is in the same situation where RATAN TATA was before years ago. Ford lost his business. Ford was going down. Ford was having loss of money. Ford decided to sell his company. Now, this is quite interesting story, isn't it? Ford decided to sell his luxurious brands. Guess what? Which one was that? Jaguar, Land Rover, Range Rover. We know it's all our dream to own all these cars. Now, guess what? He decided to sell these brands. And it was in so pathetic situation that no one came to buy that brand. One day, suddenly, unexpectedly, someone came, knocked his door, said that I'm willing to buy your company. I'm willing to buy your car. Now guess what? Who is it? It was none other than RATAN TATA, who he insulted years ago when he was about to sell his company. And now he is there to buy his Jaguar, to buy his Land Rover, to buy his Range Rover for 2.5 billion US dollars. And he bought that company. So this is how history will challenge you. And then it was the time of internet. Internet came at that time. Now he knew that this is the future of the world. Now he started investing in internet and technology. So he started investing in multiple startups. Again, he had objections when he discussed this with his family, with his relatives, friends, colleagues. Again, objections. No, why you want to do that? Why you want to use money didn't care, started investing in startups, in technology startups, because that was the beginning stage of internet. Now you all know that he's a multi-million dollar, multi-billion dollar company. He's a tycoon, but the contradictory situation is we haven't seen him